Alright, welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and everything in between. I am Violet Hyena, and you are here with perfect timing, and I am here to do readings for people with perfect timing. And I suppose I shall start out with a happy birthday for Gemini. So happy birthday, Gemini. You're gonna get a card pull. And I have 13 decks, by the way, guys, and how I choose the deck I'm going to pull from is I use regular playing card decks. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. So, it's going to be the Witch's Tarot that gets the first reading of the night, the birthday pull for Gemini. And it's the... Here we go. Okay, birthday pull for Gemini. Birthday pull for Gemini. Birthday pull for Gemini. What's your birthday reading today? Huzzah. Ooh, it is the Wheel of Fortune. Good. So that has to do with luck and karma. I'll look into the card a bit more. It is a major arcana. So everything that you're going through was predetermined by your karma today. And you are just on the fast track to that wheel. So a lot of things are manifesting for you, good and bad. It's just all the manifestations today. It's a lot of it. Alright, so that is your birthday pull. You put this deck back, but do not go far. I have 13 decks, and they all have a lot to say. And I choose which ones get to speak by using a regular playing card deck to choose which one gets to speak. And, well, where was I? I get distracted by a really nice note. Hold on. Yep, super distracted. There we go. I'm back. Alright, so, where was I? Alright, so, I have 13 decks, and I use a regular playing card deck to choose which one gets to speak. Now, I'm going to check chat, and I'm going to drink tea. Here's the tea part of it. So now would be a really good time for you to drop your question in the chat, and I will get to it. And you might see that the chat bar is subscriber locked, and I will give you the key to that lock. All you have to do is go on the page and find the subscribe button, and you push it, and then you're subscribed to my channel. Now, not only do you get to drop your question in chat, you also get the benefit of getting notified when I go live. And then you get even more free readings in the future. And not only that, you are helping me out because I have a goal of getting 500 subscribers. And guess what? It's free for you to get readings, and it's free for me to get subscribers. So this is just really a win-win situation. And yes, so please, yes, like, subscribe for more. But now I have tea, and I do see that nobody has dropped any questions in chat, so I shall wait for questions, because I just feel like pulling from an oracle deck. Because I've done my birthday reading. Boop. Put this here for now. Nope, that's a no-no place. I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna go to my good old standby. Money and the law of attraction. And typing in the chat. One moment, please. There we go. An invitation to drop questions for me to read them. But until then, I feel like reading oracle cards. They're my favorite tonight. Tonight is not a night for effort. Tonight is a night for oracle cards. Okay, so my attention to unwanted attracts more unwanted. For every pleasing thing, there is an unpleasing counterpart. For within every particle of the universe, that which is wanted as well as the lack of that which is wanted. When you focus upon an unwanted aspect of something in an effort to push it away from you, it only comes closer, because what you give your attention to, whether it is something that you want or not, it is up to you to focus upon and attract what is wanted. So where your focus goes, so does everything else. I do not need money to attract money. You do not have to have money to attract money. But you cannot feel poor and attract money. The key is you have to find ways of improving the way you feel from right where you stand before things can begin to change. By softening your attention to the things that are going wrong, and by beginning to tell stories that lean more in the direction of what you want, instead of in the direction of what is currently happening, your vibration will shift, your point of attraction will shift, and you will get different results. Nice. So focus on things you want. I want to harmonize with my desire. Anytime you feel negative emotion, stop and say, something is important here. Otherwise, I would not be feeling this negative emotion. What is it that I want? And then simply turn your attention to what you do want. In the moment you turn your attention to what you want, the negative attraction will stop. And in the moment the negative attraction stops, the positive attraction will begin. And in that moment, your feeling will change from not feeling good to feeling good. That is the process of pivoting. I desire a slightly different subject from Abraham. Let's go with... yeah, getting into the vortex. This is the information card. It's not the information we want. That's a different kind of card from this deck. Okay. It could be a quiet night, and I'm okay with that. Flawed promises can attract true unwanted evidence. If you were to hear a false premise again and again until you yourself begin to believe and repeat it, now your own activation of the contradictory vibration would interfere with your sense of intelligence, and you would begin to attract evidence of your belief, in effect, proving the false premise to be true. And so it becomes increasingly hard for you to call this a false premise, when the evidence seems to be telling you that it is true. For over time, you come to believe it is true. That's brainwashing. My most important relationship is with my source. There is no relationship of greater importance to achieve than the relationship between you in your physical body right here and now and the soul source, God, from which you have come. If you tend to that relationship first and foremost, you will then and only then have the stable footing to proceed into other relationships. Your relationship with your own body, with money, with your parents, children, grandchildren, and your world will all fall seamlessly into alignment once you tend to this fundamental relationship first. Margaret! Hello, Margaret. Hello, hello. Is TJ's side me because I have a good place to live? Let's find out. That sounds fun. Which deck would like to answer Margaret's question? Which deck? Which deck? Ooh. Which deck? Which deck? Number 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cat Tarot. Okay. We got 2 questions. So now that we have a deck pick, I'm gonna organize the questions. Let's see. Is TJ side-eye me because I have a good place to live? TJ side-eye. And will I get a good CNA job when I move to Florida? CNA. Very good question. Kitty cats. And is TJ's daughter really coming to America next year like he said? Oh, he didn't know who he had a daughter. TJ's daughter. Okay, so for the cards. Is TJ giving side-eye because Margaret has a really nice place to live in? Will Margaret get a good CNA job when she moves to Florida? And is TJ's daughter really coming to America like he said? Very good question. Very good questions. Alright, let's see. So, yes, TJ is so jealous about Margaret having such a good place. I mean, this is the major arcana and the lovers. So I'm going to go into that detail more in one moment. And then, will you get a good CNA job when you move to Florida? Yes, the Ace of Cups. And will TJ's daughter be coming to America like he said? And yes. Yes. So all yeses. Let's look into the first card, which is TJ giving you side-eye for having such a good place. And for this particular reading, I gotta say, I'm getting a read of jealousy from TJ. So you have such good place. Why do you get a good place for lovers? So it's definitely, he's really, really jealous. I'm definitely getting a jealous vibe from this. It's like, can't touch it without thinking about that. And then for the CNA job, when you move to Florida, that is a yes. That is an Ace of Cups. That is the start of a new job, and it is actually an emotionally fulfilling job and quenching job when you start it. So that's really good. That's really good. And then is TJ's daughter coming to America next year, like he said? And the answer is yes. So is this cups? or treats. Wow. Because the water bowls in this tarot card spread is cups. But then there's food and treats, which is wealth. So I'm going to actually check the little book here because I can't tell. It's the four of something. We're going to find out. It is actually the Four of Cups. Now, I do see that these little cups are empty, which is saddening. I feel like there's also an emptiness of emotion in this situation too, since the bowls are all empty. So yeah, not good feelings on this, but it is a yes that the daughter is coming to America. So I hope that helps you, Margaret. I'm going to put this deck away. Do 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 do. Oh, you don't go there, honey. You're here. There you go. All right. Will TJ ask me to take care of his daughter? Will TJ ask for Margaret to take care of his daughters? Alright, let's pick a new deck. Let's pick a new deck. It is J, which is 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That is the Prisma Tarot. And now that we have a deck, we see more question. Is my brother-in-law going to wait until TJ's daughters come to ask him to leave? Okay, so the brother-in-law going to ask him to leave? Interesting. Okay. Ooh, got you upside down. No peeking, no peeking. So, TJ's daughters. Is TJ gonna ask Margaret to take care of his daughters? And is Margaret's brother-in-law going to wait until TJ's daughters come to ask him to leave? Wow. Let's find out. That was a good one. I can't argue with that one. Okay, so yes. And yes. Wow. Okay. So much drama here. So yes. TJ will ask Margaret to take care of his daughters. In his justice, which is a major arcana. So it's gonna have to do with law and rules. But also in this picture in particular, it is a blade cutting a snake and the snake biting the hand. So they both die. So I would suggest that you say to. I think this card is suggesting that you say no to this proposition, but he is going to ask you. Because I don't see this ending well. And for the brother-in-law, asking is the brother-in-law going to wait until TJ's daughter comes to ask him to leave? The answer is yes. And it's also the tower. And the tower is usually chaos and destruction of foundations. So this is boding ominously. I don't see it turning out well. I say take precaution, and I suppose make as many counter moves against when this happens. Because that is exactly what the card is suggesting. Alright, so I hope that helps you out, Margaret. I'm going to put this stick back. And then I'm going to catch up with chat. I'm going to have a tea break. Okay, tea first and then back to chat. Tea. Ooh. Will Margaret have twins next year when I move to Florida? Will Margaret have twins? Are TJ kids trouble? TJ's kids trouble. Will I tell him no when he asks for him to come live with me with the kids? I don't know, Margaret. Will you? Will Margaret? Alright, let's see what deck wants to handle this. Margaret, I would watch your drama show. I really would. It sounds so stressful on your part, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, Gay Tarot. Whew. Okay, so let's review the questions. Will Margaret have twins? Will TJ are TJ's kids trouble? And will Margaret tell him no when he asks for him to come live with me with the kids? Woof. Okay. Okay, so Ace of Swords for Margaret having twins, which is the beginning of thought. Beginning of a thoughtful adventure. But ultimately a yes. Margaret will have twins. And I guess that is a beginning of children, I suppose. Alright. And then are TJ's kids trouble? No, they're not trouble, actually. And it is the Three of Wands. So it is manifesting with wands, the community. And even the picture is kind of like really family wholesome, so I don't think the kids are the problem. So no, TJ's kids are not trouble. And the third one was, will Margaret tell him no when he asked for him to come live with me with the kids? And the answer is yes. Because you know that the path that will lead you to is one of regret and trauma. So you're smart enough so you're gonna definitely be smart enough to say no in that aspect. I hope that helps you out. I'll put this stick away. Then I'm gonna have a tea break. Then we're gonna have, I see, more Margaret questions. I like answering your questions, Margaret. They're very interesting. You must lead a very interesting life. Ah, tea. Okay. So the next one is, will TJ try to come in between when my new relationship? Will TJ try to get between the new relationship? I'm putting S for sabotage. Sabotage. Will he try to sabotage it? And Margaret says, will TJ be upset when he finds out I'm having twins? Will TJ be upset about the twins? And will I marry the father of my twins? Very good question. Will Margaret marry the baby daddy? The baby's daddy. Okay, which deck wants these set of questions? Queen, which is 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Octopus turrets. No, don't do that. Oh, yeah. That's why it didn't feel right. It didn't twist. There we go. That's much better. Alright, so will TJ try to come between blank when my new relationship? Will he try to sabotage it? Will he try to come between? The answer is no. But will TJ be upset when he finds out Margaret is having twins? Again, no. And will Margaret marry the father of the twins? No! Wow. So much drama. Okay, let's take it from the top. Will TJ try to come between my new relationship? And it's the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands is the last step before the Ten of Wands. So you are in the process of gathering all the wands together, all of the resources, and pulling everything together. But TJ doesn't feel the urge to... He doesn't feel the urge to sabotage it. He might accept it as it is. And TJ... Is he upset about the twins? And that's a no again. And also if he's not upset about it, it makes sense that he doesn't try to sabotage it. But this is the Five of Swords, and that's a conflict card. And that is conflict of the mind. So he's not upset. And the Five of Swords is logic. But it's also a card of defeat. He might ultimately just accept the defeat. That feels about right. He would gracefully accept the defeat. So he wouldn't be upset by it. And then, will Margaret marry the baby daddy? And the answer was no. And it's the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is a very level-headed lady. maybe baby daddy won't be worth the marriage of the twins. I don't know. I don't know the situation, but it looks like it's a level-headed decision to not get married. All right, so I hope that helps you out, Margaret. I'm gonna put this deck away. And then we're gonna have a tea break and check on chats. Ah, ooh, that's a very nice question. Will Margaret marry a nice man, a kind man? What is it? Let's go with a kind man. And will Margaret change her mind and don't have the twins? Ooh, that is also an option. Let's find out. Will Margaret change her mind? Will Margaret have any family visit in Florida? Will family visit? Which deck wants these set of questions? Number 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The Robin Hood Tarot. Boop. That was a lovely one. So, will Margaret marry a kind man who is kind to her and her children? That is a yes. With a King of Wands. That sounds amazing. And will Margaret... Let's see. What is the other one? Will Margaret change her mind about having the twins? Yes. And will I have any family visits me in Florida? And again, yes. 5 of Swords. Let's sort this out. Will Margaret marry a kind man who is nice to her and the kids? Marry someone that I will be nice to and the kids. I mean, King of Wands, Master of Wands, so really good, stable person to get married to. I gotta say, I'm impressed. So yes, all around. All fire and passion and good stuff. Good resources. That's good. That's good. Will Margaret change her mind and don't have the twins? And this is a yes, which is the Hierophant, which is a major arcana. And the Hierophant is a traditional leader or teacher or guru that will lead down a path, but also a religious figure that may have some opinions about your decision. And I believe that is for that Hierophant to have their say, and they're going to have their say. And I'm going to leave it at that, because this is a big subject. But I believe you're going to run into a Hierophant, a teacher, or a traditionalist, or some sort of religion figure that's going to have their own opinion about it. And then, will anyone visit Margaret in Florida? And the answer is yes. With the Five of Swords, which is... it is the card of a defeat. Of the mind. So there's going to be conflict on that visit. So be prepared for that. I hope that helps you out, Margaret. Boop. And put this stick away. I'm going to check on chats. And have some tea. Let's see. Alright. Margaret's next set of questions are: will Margaret buy a lot of clothes in Florida? Buying clothes in Florida. And is Paul's house being watched by the twins? Is Paul's house being watched by the twins? I don't know. Is Paul's house being watched by twins? Who knows? And is Paul's house being watched by the police? Ooh, Paul's house being watched by police. Which deck wants this set of questions? My golly. Whatever could the police be watching Paul's house for? Okay, number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get the Prismavision stick again. Okay, so to review for the cards. Will Margaret buy a lot of clothes in Florida? Will Paul's house be watched by the twins? And is Paul's house being watched by the police? twisting. One more. That's better. Oh, yes. That one. Buying clothes. You will not buy a lot of clothes in Florida. Is Paul's house being watched by the twins? Yes. Apparently, yes. And is Paul's house being watched by the police? Again, yes. Alright, so will Margaret buy a lot of clothes in Florida? And the answer was no. Um, and I see the logic behind it. No, but also the humor here in that these people are bathing naked in the waters of Florida, which, by the way, I do not condone because the waters in Florida are dangerous with alligators. But third, it is hot in Florida. You're not going to be buying a lot of clothes. You're gonna want to not be wearing clothes. All right. So, are the twins? Is Paul's house being watched by the twins? I'm not sure I understand the question, but the answer is yes. It is the King of Chalices. And the King of Chalices is a master of the suit of emotions. So he remains calm in the sea of emotions. So he's not worried about some twins watching his house. But yes, they are watching. And then are the police watching Paul's house? And the answer was yes. And the Four of Swords. That causes some worry. More than the twins watching it. And that's. I feel more conflict there. Four of Swords. Oh, okay. So I'm getting more of a stakeout read, like getting ready for the conflict, like preparing mentally for conflict and being aware that the police are watching, and it being more of a stalemate situation. So he might put into place, if he knows that his house is being stalked by the police, he would put up a mask of nothing being wrong there. So yeah, there's a stalemate between him and the police. And then I'm gonna put this deck away, and then we'll catch up on chat. Then we get a small tea break, and then we'll continue. There we go. I'm guessing what you mean by that was a mistake question was that is Paul's house being watched by the twins? Hold on. What? Okay, I'm gonna read through this. Is Paul's okay, so yes, that's okay, that's what I thought. Good, alright. I did do the reading for it anyway, so that kind of matched up. Yeah, it's okay. Even if like ghost twins were watching his house, Paul wouldn't really care about that. Um. Is Paul going to get raided by the police? Paul. House raid. And will the police raid Paul House? Correct. I got that. So we're going to choose. I'm sure you'll come up with more questions, but I'm going to choose the deck for this next set of questions. Will Paul's house get raided by the police? Alright, which deck wants this set of questions? Okay, J, which is 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got the Tarot of the Witches. Will Margaret take the kids to Orlando when I move to Florida when I get there? Ooh, Orlando. Will Margaret go to Orlando and take the children? That sounds fun. I love how that we go from raiding Paul's house with the police to taking the kids to Orlando. Oh, the web Margaret weaves. Put that twist in the cards. And there's still room for one question if you want to get it in here. Alright, the cards are getting impatient. So, if you have more questions, we'll just do more. That's no problem. Alright, so will Paul's house be raided by the police? Yes. And will Margaret take the kids to Orlando? No. Okay, so will Paul's house get raided by the police? And the answer is yes. The Four of Pentacles, which is health, wealth, and earth. I see the police coming in with a warrant. Because for some reason, the police go in it in a logical way. Not like guns blazing. Like, they get the resources to raid his house. And the Wheel of Fortune is a major arcana, but it's definitely a no. And I believe just enough stuff happens in your karma to disrupt you taking the kids to Orlando when you get here. You definitely are going to be super busy when you get to Florida So it might not be in the cards, pun intended, that you get the kids to Orlando, because there's more important things to do than to take them to Orlando at the time when you get here. All right, hope that helps you out, Margaret. And I'll put these cards away. I'm gonna have a tea break. Ah. Ah. Okay, and then Margaret, will I move to Hollywood, Florida like I want to? Hollywood, Florida. And will Paul be there when his house gets raided? Will Paul witness the raiding? Okay, let's find out which deck would like to answer Margaret's questions. The cat turret. Beautiful. All right, and I see the third question. Will I be able to find a food pantry in Florida that will be good? Is there good food pantries in Florida? Very good question. All right. Going to twist first off. There we go. Review for the cards. Will Margaret move to Hollywood, Florida? Will Paul be at his house when his house gets raided by the police? Will Margaret be able to find a good food pantry in Florida? The most important questions here. The most important questions. More shuffling is needed. Ah, that's better. Will Margaret move to Hollywood, Florida? That's a no. And that is 8 of Swords. And then that's a no for Paul being at his house when his house gets raided by the police. And that's a 3 of Swords. Or is that a 3 of Treats? It's sometimes hard to tell with this deck. So it's either a 3 of coins or a 3 of swords. I'm gonna have to look that one up. This is a tricky deck. And then, is there a good food pantry when you move to Florida? And that's a yes. Aw, look at the kitty without the yarn. I'm trying to see if the camera will pick it up. I'm trying to see if the camera will pick it up. I think my camera is lagging. Just a little. Bring it up to speed. Yep, there we go. It's a cute picture. Alright, cool. Alright, and then we need to go and give more details from the cards. So, no on Hollywood, Florida. And it's a 7 of Swords. Because in this, the claws and teeth are swords. There's a lot of struggle if trying to find a place in Hollywood, Florida. And that doesn't pan out to be a good fit for you. This one, I had to figure out if it is treats or knives. Because you're using your teeth, but there is treats right behind you. Wands, cups, swords. This is 3 of swords. Is it 3 of swords? It is not the 3 of swords. It must be the 3 of coins. It is the 3 of Pentacles. Okay. So this is a no. He won't be home when the police raid the house. It's the 3 of Pentacles. So while Paul is away, the police will attack his house. And literally, to me, this is the police is the cat, and the cardboard house is the cardboard box is the house, and then like away from the house is Paul, which is the treats. So while the resources are gone, the police attack. So yeah, okay. So it's on subject. And then, is there a good food pantry in Florida? And the answer is yes. And may I point out that you can stash yarn, and that is a good stash when you can find good stuff, like a food pantry. Is toys, right? So toys were the wands. So wands are also resources. So that pans out. That checks out. So yes. Good. Alright. I hope that reading helps you out, Margaret. I'm going to put these cards away. Then I'm going to have a tea break and check up on chat. No, we put the book in first. That way it pushes out the cards easier later. There we go. Clear the board, have some tea. Tea. Wow, I've been streaming for an hour and 10 minutes already. That's pretty cool. 50 minutes more. Okay, I'm gonna straighten this out. Twisty. Very good. Let's see here. Where was I? Well, yep. And Margaret says, that's good. I can see it. And then Margaret asks, will his friends be there when his house is ready? So, will Paul's friends be there during the raid? That would be funny. That would be absolutely hilarious. Will Paul lose all his stuff when they raid his house? Will Paul lose stuff in the raid? That's a long time. Very possible. Will my son visit me in Florida for good times? And will Margaret's son visit? Okay, let's pick a deck that wants to answer these sets of questions. This set of questions. Okay, number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, we get some cut and dry answers with the Tarot of the Witches. Okay, so will Paul's friends be there when the raid happens? And will Paul lose his stuff during the raid? And will Margaret's son visit for good times? Ooh, that was a good one. Alright, so. Will Paul's friends be at the raid? No. Will Paul lose all his stuff during the raid? Yes. And will Margaret's son visit for good times? And that's a yes. Wow, these are all royalty cards. Interesting. Oh, let's find out. Let's go into detail. So will Paul's friends be there during the raid? And the answer is no. The King of Swords. I think this is going to relate to Paul taking precautions beforehand. And his thought was to not get in trouble, his friends should not be there. So I think that was, on his part, a chess move, if you will, to not get into trouble more with the police. Will Paul lose his stuff during the raid? And the answer is yes, which is the Valet of Swords, which is kind of like he's willing to take that loss at the expense of his friends getting involved and getting him more in trouble. But I think, again, he took precautions and made logical choices on which stuff was lost. So he only left stuff there that he was willing to lose. And will Margaret's son visit for a good time? And the answer is yes. Margaret's son will visit for a good time. And there's the resources for you guys to have a good time. So good for you. This sounds super dramatic, by the way. Paul and his raid. Wow. Alright, boop. I'm going to put this deck away, and I'm going to check chat. Clear your board. Have tea. Checking chat. Alright, so YK Joe says, "Hi, Violet." Hi, YK Joe. Hope you're doing well. And then Margaret says, "Will I at least have $8,000 when I move?" It's a very good question. I'm going to put you on the board, Margaret. And I'll get to you when I catch back up on chat. Okay, and YK Joe says, "How are you today?" I am a mixed bag, but I am here, and it is great in a way. I have tea. You know what? I have tea is a good social media status to have. I have tea, and I'm doing fine as long as I have tea. Okay, and YK Joe asks, "Where should I focus my energy over the next few months?" That's a very good question. YK Joe is going on the board. And then Margaret asks, "Since Paul's house is getting raided, will he move to Florida?" Oh, scary subject. And Margaret says, "Okay." YK Joe says, "What attachment am I struggling to let go of?" And Margaret says, "Will my health be better in Florida?" And YK Joe says, "Yes, Violet, tea makes everything better. Look, tea is now the blood that runs through my veins. It's keeping me hydrated. It's doing good things for me. Go tea." And I don't mean the facial hair. Alright, so Margaret was on the board first, and then YK Joe. So we're going to do a set of Margaret questions and a set of YK Joe questions, and then we're going to come back. Okay? So we got Margaret questions. I'm going to turn the... Yeah, I'm going to turn it around. Here we go. So, will Margaret have $8,000? $8,000 when she moves to Florida. Since Paul's house is getting raided, will Paul move to Florida? Scary stuff. And then, will health be better in Florida? Better health in Florida. All right. Which deck would like to answer this set of questions? And don't worry, YK Joe, you are next. Hang in there. Ten. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Robin Wood Terrier. There we go. Ooh, that's a better one. Yes. Yes. Okay. So, will Margaret have $8,000 when she moves to Florida? Yes. And will Paul move to Florida? No. What was it? Will Margaret's health be better in Florida? Yes. Delve into the cards a bit deeper. So, $8,000 when you moved to Florida came out to be a prancing yes to me with the Page of Swords, which means you are running with blades, but you're also so super happy about having enough funds to move to Florida. I mean, $8,000 is really nice to be making when you move. Okay, so, and then, will Paul move to Florida? And the answer was no. And he is restrained by the money he has, and he's making smarter decisions than moving to Florida. And then, will Margaret's health be better in Florida? And it's a yes. It is the Ace of Pentacles, which is health, health, wealth, and earth. And it's all greenery here. Like, the environment of Florida will make you healthier. Alright, so I hope that helps you, Margaret. We'll put this deck away, and then we'll do YK Joe's questions. Okay, YK Joe's questions were... Okay, so... Gonna erase this so we don't confuse anything else, but we know we're doing YK Joe right now. There we go. So, YK Joe's questions were... Where should YK Joe focus the energy over the next 2 months? So, focus that energy. And what attachment is YK Joe struggling to let go of? What attachment are you trying to let go of? Sorry, struggling to let go of. And then... what uncomfortable truth would help YK Joe grow the most? What uncomfortable truth? Uncomfortable truth to growth. Alright, so this is open to all the cards. These are very in-depth questions. So it's open to all of my decks. Okay, which deck? Queen, which is 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Into the vortex we go. There we go. And this is the information card. We don't want the information card. It's not the information that we want. Okay. The focus. I'm going to refresh the questions for the cards. Where should YK Joe focus the energy over the next 2 months? What attachments is YK Joe struggling to let go of? And what uncomfortable truth would help YKJ grow the most. This is a very good deck for this line of questioning, by the way. Okay, so the focus, where you should focus your energy for the next few months is I have control of the vibration I offer, and attachments that you're struggling to let go of is the universal law of attraction is managing my expansion. And then what uncomfortable truth would help you let go, and that is I intend to see the best in everyone. Alright, so we're going to dig into the details of each card. So focusing the energy, I have control of the vibration I offer. Once you begin to believe or expect good feelings to come, you're in the vortex. And once you get there, now you are a cooperative component. Now you get to rendezvous with all the good stuff that you have put there. And you can train yourself there. You can do it in a day. You have control of everything that rendezvous with you when you get control of the vibration that you offer. And you get control of the vibration that you offer when you care about how you feel. So, the answer for your focus on your energy for the next few, months? Next few months is going to be you're gonna focus on how you feel. Okay? So focus the energy on how you feel. And then attachments you're struggling to let go of. The universal law of attraction is managing my expansion. The law of attraction is the universal manager of all vibration, which expands to everything that exists through the universe. And so, at the time that the law of attraction is responding to the vibrational content of your physical thoughts, it is also responding to the vibrational content of your inner being. So what you're struggling to let go of. I believe that would be the control. If you're struggling, let me get this question right. If the attachment that you're struggling to let go of, it's the control. Because once you let go of control, the universe is going to manage your expansion. So you have to let go of the control, and you have to trust the universe. And the uncomfortable truth that would help you grow the most. I intend to see the best in everyone. You can never consistently motivate anybody to anything, but when you see the best of them and you go over to where your version of the best of them is, and you align with that and offer one signal, now you're part of the inspiration you see. Have you ever had that experience yourself when someone sees you and loves you and expects the best of you? Do you not shine in ways you never shined before? And do you not find it really hard to shine when another does not look for the best in you? So the uncomfortable truth that is going to help you grow is that you have to look at the silver lining in people. You have to focus in on that. And that is what you must focus in on, finding the good in people. See the best in everyone. And it might be uncomfortable because some people might not seem to deserve it, but that's the uncomfortable part, right? Right. So try to see the best in everyone. Even if they just have really nice hair, if that helps. Sometimes people have really nice hair and you can say, "Hey, they have really nice hair." I hope that helps, YK Joe. Okay, and then I'm gonna put this deck away and have some tea and catch up on chat. And I've been streaming for 1 hour and 32 minutes. So I have 28 minutes left because I stream for 2 hours at a time. Alright, let us catch back up on chat. I know it was a lot of information. I know my head is buzzing, so your head is probably buzzing too. See, YK Joe says, yes, Violet, tea makes everything better, and Margaret says it does because there's so much tea. So true. And Margaret says, thanks, you are so welcome. And then that was YK Joe's third question. And Margaret says, will I get back $9,000 in taxes this year? Alright, we got Margaret on the board. So I'm going to catch up on chat, and then I'll get back to your question, Margaret. And then we got John. Hi, John. What? And John asks, what do I need to do to travel on the alchemic path? Well, John, you're on the board. We're going to find out. We're going to ask the cards. Okay, Margaret says, will TJ talk down about when I move to Florida? Interesting. And YK Joe says, yes, it does help, Violet. Thank you. You're so welcome, YK Joe. Alright, so we're going to get to Margaret and John's questions. We get to Margaret's questions. Which deck wants Margaret's questions? Do, 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 do. And Queen. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Octopus deck. Octopus Tarot. Okay. And I'm going to review Margaret's question. answer that one. T. Will Margaret get $9,000? $9,000 on taxes. This year. And will TJ talk down about when Margaret moves to Florida? Is TJ gonna talk that smack? Naughty TJ. Okay, so twist and then do these two questions for Margaret. Will Margaret get $9,000 back in taxes this year? And is TJ gonna talk down about Margaret moving to Florida? That would be super rude. Super rude. Okay. Let's see what we got. We have yes on $9,000 this year in taxes. And TJ being super rude. No. Actually, no. Which is good. Okay. Let's see. 9,000 this year in taxes, yes. So this is the Queen of Cups, and you have an overflowing cup. Very level-headed, though. And so to me, this is also reading a queen or a mermaid having a cup of wine because the taxes coming back are that good, which is amazing for you. Congratulations. And TJ talking down to you moving to Florida, that's a no. So he's not talking smack. The Five of Wands is a bit of a complication. So he may feel complicated about the things going on, but he's not going to speak about it. He's going to keep all that locked up in his brain, and he has other things to deal with besides talking smack about you moving to Florida. Alright, then we're going to get to John's question. So I hope that helps you out, Margaret. There we go. Deck back, and then which deck would like to answer John's question? Let's review John's question. What does John need to do to travel on the alchemic path? I'm going to open that up to all the cards, all the decks. I'm going to open that up to all the decks. That is a very plainer question. Okay, so it's going to be number 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's the Moon Tarot. What does John need to do? This is a very good deck for advice of this nature. So what does John need to do to travel on the alchemic path? What does John need to do to travel on the alchemic path? Boom. Okay. Big take opinions on this one from the cards. The energy is gaining momentum. The waxing moon. The energy is gaining momentum. The waxing moon. The waxing moon. Number 98. The energy is gaining momentum. The waxing moon. During the waxing moon cycle, hope springs eternal. This card is a very positive omen, indicating that you can create the reality you are dreaming of, though it will take some work and you're not quite there yet. This is a time of energies rising up. Emotions are building too. Where do you want to go, and do you believe that you can get there? Either you can just keep meditating and focusing on your desired outcome, or you can make the courageous commitment to take more practical steps towards your goals. Whichever you decide, you are most certainly on the right track. Attuned to the moon. I know I'm headed in the right direction. Additional meanings for this card. The situation is full of potential. Your dream can come true. More effort is yet required. Are you willing to give it? Review your goals and ensure you're still committed. Keep moving forward. The teaching. The waxing cycle is the period of the lunar cycle from new moon to full moon. And during this time, the moon appears to be slightly bigger and rounder every night. This is a very empowered and empowering time. And this is a very promising card. It suggests now is the time to make plans and to act on them, no matter when you actually pull the card. So, in answer to John's question, what do I need to do to travel to the alchemic path? Well, it seems that you are on the correct path. It did suggest that you do meditation and focus on your desired outcome. But I suppose if you find other ways to it, you're still going on the right path. So I wish you luck in your endeavor. You are going forward in the right path. And put this deck away. And then I'm gonna chat with tea. With tea. Okay, let's see here. And Country Love Homestead. Hi. Was the vision I had about DH That's a very good question. I'm going to let the cards answer that. Okay. So which deck would like to answer Country Love Homestead? We're going to find out which deck. It's going to be a tarot card question. It is a yes or no question. Which deck? The answer is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the Gary Tarot is going to answer that question. And as a reminder, for yes/no questions, the reversals are no, and the right side ups are yes. Okay. So was the vision Country had about DH? Very good. All right. No. The vision you had was not about DH. We're going to look into the card for more details. And the details of this card is the Five of Cups. And this is the number of conflict for cups. And it shows that you are looking at 3 broken cups. Very devastating. I'm sure it is. But you have to remember that there are 2 cups over here on the counter that you have forgotten about. You have to look back, look away from this destruction, and you need to look back at the cups over here to find some sense of peace emotionally. I understand you're very upset by this happening. But it's okay. Not all is lost. You still have these 2 cups over here. Alright, so I hope that helps you out, Country. I'm gonna put this deck away and catch back up on chat. I hope that helps you out. Ooh, come back. Let's not dance. We don't dance with the box. We put the cards away in the box. Thank you. Oh, no wonder I'm dancing with boxes. I've been streaming for about an hour and 48 minutes, and I have about 12 minutes left in me mentally. Because this takes a lot of mental energy. Alright, got tea? And Country says thank you. You are so welcome. I'm happy to help. And I have caught up on questions. What should I do for like 12 minutes? I mean, I could read more oracle cards. That's fun. Ooh. I mean, I'm just so on this deck today. Oh, Margaret posted. Margaret did post. I see your question now, Margaret. Will I buy suitcases in December for my kids for moving to Florida? Let's see. Suitcases. Alright, let's choose a deck for Margaret's next set of questions. Okay, we have boop, number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is I got it. Haha. There we go. Number 4, and will Margaret buy suitcases for the kids? Oh, will Margaret buys suitcases in December for kids for moving to Florida? All right. Oh, I gotta give it a twist. There we go. Alright, and will Margaret be buying suitcases for the kids in December for the move to Florida? And the answer is yes. The Sun, which is a major arcana, which is a major happy moment. And I get the feeling that this would be an announcement to the kids on we're moving to Florida, which sounds super fun. So that is a lot of joy and fun and oh wow, lots of color. That's cool. It looks really good. So that sounds like a really happy time for you and your family. A very good way to announce that you're going to Florida. Sounds really nice. Alright. I'll put this deck away. I hope that helped you out, Margaret. Okay, and I got 8 minutes left. You're very welcome, Margaret. Hooey. I have run out of tea. I have not yet run out of liquids, though. What do I have in here? Liquid IV. I remember now. I have liquid IV in here. It's very tasty stuff. I have hydrated my brain. Good stuff. Will Margaret celebrate before she goes to Florida? Let us find out. Which deck would like to answer Margaret's questions? 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Robin Wood Terrace. There's more than one question. Let's do that. Will Margaret celebrate before moving to Florida? So, celebration before Florida. Will Margaret be celebrating your divorce? Celebrating divorce? These are very good questions. Give them a twist. Okay. That was a good one. So, celebrating before you move to Florida, that's a no. And celebrating divorce, yes. So let's look back into that. So celebrating before you go to Florida is a no. However, it is the major arcana, the Star, which means you have the hope of moving to Florida, but you understand that you are going to have to use those resources that you might want to use for celebration on your move to Florida. And that would be a wise move. But you have the hope of celebrating when you get to Florida. And the goal of getting to Florida, which is, I think, the better part of it. And also it's a major arcana, so it is a major move in your life, as I need to point that out. And then celebrating the divorce. That's the 6 of Cups. So emotionally, this is a victory. Because these cups are not only filled with emotion and water, but these are good waters, good emotions. And this little scene here, if you can see it, it is a little boy giving a cup of flowers to a little girl. And in my brain, this is the ex-husband delivering the divorce papers to the wife in full and just having everything completed. And that is a joyous feeling and celebration in this card. So I hope those help you out, Margaret. I'm going to put these back. We'll put these cards back. Then I'm going to look at chat. Let's see where we are. We do have enough time for more questions. I have about 2 minutes left. So which deck is going to answer Margaret's next question? Which is, will Margaret get back to the weight of 160 pounds? 160. Which deck would like to answer? Which deck would like to answer Margaret's question? Number 2. 1, 2. It's the Gay Tarot. And I do believe this is going to be the last question I answer tonight. So number 2, correct, goes over here. Because I'm starting to feel the exhaustion of the day. And yes, this summer. So we're going to refresh the question for the cards. Will Margaret get back to her weight of 160 pounds this summer? Very good to clarify that. Will Margaret get back to her weight of 160 this summer? That's a good one. And the answer is yes. Oh, the 10 of Swords, though. Alright, so I have to go into more details. There's a yes, but. Because, this is the card of. It's not a card of defeat, but just a card of just a completed journey that is full of exhaustion and mental fatigue. So yes, you're going to get it done, but at what cost? It's going to be a lot of struggle to get there. You'll complete it, but you're just gonna be exhausted by it. Alright? So, and that, I hope it helps you. And I am going to put this deck away. And then I'm gonna look at chat. And then I'm gonna say goodnight to chat. And I'm going to say thank you all for coming tonight. It was a delight to answer all of your questions, especially yours, Margaret. You all rest well, and I'll see you again tomorrow. I love you. Good night. Bye. Good night.